We're about to do another book, but this time it's a little different, because it's a strategy guide. It's tea time. Alright, so like I said, I was going to do another book review. Well, earlier, I really didn't say, but I just wanted to get some more videos out there. I'm doing 4 videos today. So far I've done one book one. This is going to be the second book one. Then I'm going to do a video game one. And then I'm going to do the last debate video, which all that's going to be done today, posted today. But as of right now, this is what we're here for. This game came out on the PlayStation. And of course, this is the strategy guide to the video game, The Legend of Dragoon. Alright, so how does this strategy guide stand up to other strategy guides? Well, if you actually were to compare it to another strategy guide, in this case we're going to use Final Fantasy VIII, you'll see that the thickness is different, obviously. So does this mean that this game is just that small? That, you know, it doesn't have a lot going for it. You know, this was the PlayStation. It was actually quite a decent game. It's not really an open world walk around like Final Fantasy well, 8, I mean. I haven't really played 7, so I can't really say. Or 9. Basically, you travel around by the way of a world map, by scrolling to these different areas. And it still has that open world feel because it has, you know, large expanding areas, you could say. Not a whole lot in the side quest area. It does have some. It's probably a reason why the book is so thin. Apparently this was a book, not the book, but the game took like 3 years to make and had like 300 staff members. It's quite a controversial game. Because, you know, some people say that this game is a Final Fantasy VII copycat, which, you know, I actually have. I'm completely beaten Final Fantasy VII, but I have played it, and I could definitely say that no, they're not even the same. Those are just hardcore Final Fantasy fans who clearly need to get a life because the stories are different. And quite frankly, if they're going to argue the whole childhood friendship relation, they really need to wake up and come to the reality that technically Final Fantasy VII is just about as cliche as everything else because every story takes something from another story. In fact, that's going to be the next debate. I finally came up with another debate video, which is actually debating cliche within itself. But that's probably going to be a video for tomorrow. So overall, you know, this has a world map in it. It's got character stats. Yes, my page is coming out. It's quite old. I need to replace it. It has boss strategies and, you know, basic information, you know. Other than that, the only thing I don't like about it, it doesn't have a bistary. It doesn't really have enemy stats per se. It does tell you how to defeat bosses and sub-bosses, but it doesn't really have the stats, alright? So overall, for a strategy guide book, I'm going to have to give this, unfortunately, an average rating 3 out of 5. You know, they probably would have gotten more if they actually would have put some time and effort into it and made like a bistary. Yeah, some people could argue that they're not important, but I actually like them. Alright, if this doesn't look familiar to you, that is because this is the Japan or Japanese strategy guide. If you haven't figured it out, Legend of Dragoon is my favorite RPG game, so I'm a collector of just about all the stuff that it has. So, you know, when I saw this on eBay, I was like, I need to have it, gotta have it. What I like about this is it actually has all kinds of information in it. Unfortunately, I can't read it because I don't read Japanese. But it does have enemy stats. I mean, I've actually seen it. It doesn't have a buy story, but it does have enemy stats for the areas that you would be in if you were following this through from beginning to end. So it does have stats, you know, the name, actual pictures of the enemies too. Though I can't read it, I can't really, you know, rate its authenticity on, you know, giving good strategies or anything like that. But, you know, if you are Japanese and you speak English and obviously you can understand me and you've read this, then, you know, you can easily, you know, post your comments down of whether, you know, this was a good strategy guide within itself to actually help. But overall, I am going to rate this, even though I can't, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5, only because, you know, I can't read it, so I can't really go in depth in it, but it gets that 0.5 extra because, you know, it actually has enemy stats. Alright, so that is this. And that, see, here's my teacup, everyone. That concludes today's video of book reviews.